Hey guys, this is Josh with Embark Project Services, and we wanted to shoot this video today to give you guys a look at what happens behind the walls. And the reason that this is important is that as a potential homeowner, one of the biggest things that, well, most people look for is the visual appeal of a home. And while the visual appeal of a home is important, some of the most important things actually take place behind the walls, things that you would never see. So everything that we're going to show you in this video today will eventually be covered up completely by siding on the outside and sheetrock on the inside. But some of the things that we're going to show you actually set apart a decent home from a really good home. So come on, and I'm going to show you guys a few of the things that we do differently as a home builder. Hey guys, so I just wanted to highlight a couple of the things that we do different on the inside of our houses. And I want to start off by showing you guys the framing that we use for all of our exterior walls. So part of our standard practice is to frame with a 2x6 exterior wall. And the reason that's better is that you actually get more depth for insulation, so it leads to a more energy efficient house. Having 2x6 framed exterior walls also leads to a sturdier house. And in addition to that, it can also give you some sound benefits. So the more insulation that you can fit into those cavities, the less sound intrusion you're going to have from the outside. So it's going to be a more comfortable house, both in terms of the energy efficiency that it produces and also the sound mitigation as well. And another thing that we do different here at Embark when we frame a house is that standard practice to frame up a corner is that you would have normally just a solid corner here. And so in all of our houses, we use what's called a California corner, which gives you the same amount of structural stability, but it's framed in such a way that allows us to fit insulation into the corner. So when you look at a house with a thermal camera, you'll notice that the two biggest places where energy is lost are actually in the corners of houses and then in the headers above a window. So it turns out that wood is a really poor insulator, and it only has about R1 per inch of insulating value. So what we do is that we make the corners in such a way that we can fit insulation in the corners. And then when you look at our windows here, we actually recess all of our headers into our window. So when you look up close, you'll notice that we sandwich the headers together and then we push those to the outside. And what that gives us is it gives us about 3 inches of space here where we can actually put insulation. So what we've done is that we've tried to mitigate some of the worst places for energy loss in a house, and we just kind of do this as standard practice. And speaking of our windows, one of the other features that we put standard into our homes is that we use a product made by Huberwood, and it's actually their zip stretch tape. And what this does is it protects our windowsills. So I've said this before, but the #1 enemy for new houses is water infiltration. So while we build the house to be completely watertight, we also acknowledge that sometimes water can just get in. So we want to have a contingency plan in place for if the house ever does receive any kind of water behind the windows or behind the siding, and that's what this tape is for. So this tape actually adheres to the windowsill, and we put it 6 inches up on either side, and then it's folded over and it adheres to our weather-resistant barrier on the outside. And so if any window, these windows are built in such a way that they channel water around the sides and through the bottom, so that if any water ever does get in the window, then it's not going to damage and rot out the windowsill, the wood below. It's going to land on our protective barrier here and then dry to the outside. Hey guys, so we're upstairs now, and I wanted to take this time to show you some of the other things that we do different in our houses. So if you'll look up, you'll notice that the entire roof system is covered in a product called TechShield, and that's the silver foil that you see. And TechShield is actually a radiant barrier. So what that does is it blocks radiant heat coming into your attic. And this product can actually lead to up to a 30-degree Fahrenheit reduction in temperature, which here in the hot and humid South can make a big difference. This not only makes a difference in the temperature of the overall house, but it also makes a difference in the temperature inside your ductwork that's in the attic. So that ductwork has insulation around it. It's about an R8. So this goes a long way to keep your house much cooler and much more energy efficient. And again, this is just a product that comes standard in an Embark home. Additionally, what we've done, and if you'll walk with me, I'll show you our platforms up here, is that each house that we build that requires an HVAC system in the attic, we actually build the platform and we raise it 18 inches above ceiling height. And so what that allows us to do is to get a minimum of 18 inches of insulation in our ceiling, and it makes sure that the entire ceiling is covered. Even at the edge of our house, we raise our rafters up enough to where there is a uniformity of insulation around the entire ceiling. So we want to make sure that from the top down, all of our houses are the most energy efficient that they can be. So hey guys, here we are on the outside of our house, and I want to draw your attention to the type of sheathing that we use. So we use a Huber wood product called zip sheathing to wrap the entire outside of our house. And what makes zip sheathing unique is that it actually has a built-in factory adhered weather-resistant barrier and air barrier. And then when we put the zip sheathing up, we actually tape all the seams with this zip flashing tape. And what that leads to is a really airtight building envelope and a watertight building envelope. So it allows us to make the house extremely airtight so that we can control the indoor air quality. All of our houses come standard with a fresh air intake system. Additionally, it keeps water out of the house, water being the #1 enemy. And it also keeps things like bugs and pests out of the house by giving you a really tight envelope. In addition to that, we actually use this sill sealer that acts like a gasket. Now we put a roll of this, we lay it flat under the sill plate where the sill plate rests on top of the foundation wall, and that seals up the area of the house where the framing actually meets the concrete. So our goal is to create the tightest building envelope that we can, both for air and water infiltration, but at the same time, we spend a lot of attention and detail on the way that we ventilate the houses so that we can build tight and that we can ventilate right. Lastly, what you'll notice when you zoom up to this zip sheathing is that it has some little dimples built into the surface, and what that allows for is that when you have your siding on the house, it creates just a tiny little airspace so that if there is any type of water or moisture that gets trapped behind the siding and up against this sheathing, it gives it a place to not only drain out but also to dry out. And our goal with this is to build a house that's going to last for generations, and so we plan for that on the front end with products like these. Hey guys, thanks for coming along and checking out this video today and finding out just a few of the ways that we build better.